What's up, gamer guys and gamer girls? Today, I bring you something so unimaginably cursed that it's actually going to be somewhat of a therapy session for me. Longtime viewers of this channel might remember that being a subscriber of mine about 4 or so years ago meant seeing a Ripoff movie video about 2,000 times a year. It's this industry I've always been kind of amazed by because it operates entirely on the idea of making a product look so similar to a real movie that, like, your grandma won't be able to tell while she's buying you a last-minute birthday present from Walmart. Literally, like, for every Pixar or DreamWorks movie that's ever been made, there's like 5 of these things. You got Ratatouille, Tangled Up, Shark Bait, The Little Cars in the Great Race, Car Go, Life's a Jungle, Africa's Most Wanted, How to Train a Dragon Warrior, Wings, Homeward, Chop Kick Panda, and Finding Jesus. And yet, you know what's weird? I could not find a single Shrek ripoff because nobody has the fucking balls. But today, I'm gonna dredge up 2 in particular that I've been avoiding talking about since I saw them as a kid, because I knew that doing a video about ripoff animated movies would mean that I would have to actually watch them. These movies are An Ant's Life and A Car's Life. I didn't know they were ripoffs at the time because I definitely saw these before I knew what real movies were. It just so happened that on one fateful trip to Blockbuster for a movie night, I happened to stumble a little too deep into the kids section.
Yeah, the video store. Oh, shit.
And I have unfortunately not been the same person since. When I was watching them again for this video, I really don't know why I remember so much about what happened in them. So I must have legitimately been traumatized for these random shitty animated movies to be core memories in my brain. I know A Car's Life has already been covered to death on YouTube by people like Schaeferillis, but I didn't find a lot of love for Bug Bites, which is probably because nobody could make it past the first 5 minutes. So today we're going to be looking at both of these atrocities and revisiting one horrible night of my childhood. So starting with Bug Bites, An Ant's Life. Fuck it, let's just rip off both at once, right? This one has the prestigious accolade of being the very first 3D mockbuster ever made in 1998, but it was re-released on DVD in 2006. Very unfortunate for me, being a child in 2006. These were apparently both made by the mockbuster company Sparkplug Entertainment, who are also responsible for other bangers like Spider Web, A Pig's Tale, and Plan B. Their first ever project was this simultaneous Bug's Life and Ants ripoff, which is a 25-minute psychological thriller about 3 identical ants named Rose, Thang, and Dee Dee. I would tell you which one is which, but I literally have no idea. The only thing I can tell you about them is that they're racist, apparently.
I am so sick of these non-native species just waltzing in. They don't want a niche, they want the whole ecosystem.
And it's about them, like, running into a queen ant who tricks them into gathering food for her while she shits out some eggs and raises an army of ant babies so she can take over the world. That is not me exaggerating for comedic effect, that is literally the plot of the movie.
Ha! You were born to serve me, and that is how you shall die.
So yeah, as I'm sure you're thinking, the animation in this is like so uncanny and unfinished. Oh, something about it is just like so stiff and uncomfortable. Like even as a kid, this activated my fight or flight. Like there's just something in the way that everything moves that just doesn't feel right. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm pretty sure you get what I mean. I remember the geckos specifically used to really freak me out. I mean, yeah, they try and give them silly voices, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I've like got lifelong issues now.
Stop. What? He's dead, Barry. Don't worry. This place is crawling with tasty bugs. Yeah.
It just doesn't feel complete. Like so much of this feels like an animatic of something unrendered that you'd find in like the DVD extras for deleted scenes or something. The one thing that I remember the most about this movie is this bit here where they like touch antennas or something. Like I know that's a thing that ants actually do, but just something about the way that it's animated is so deeply unsettling that it's like genuinely taken a permanent spot in my brain. Aside from this trio of ants with 0 individual character traits, there's the caterpillar who actually survived the intro and turns into a moth by the end, and a praying mantis whose only role in the movie is cannibalism.
Marriage is a great source of protein.
The whole thing builds up to the 3rd act twist that the queen was evil the whole time, like it's a horror movie.
Oh no, they're hatching! How much time do we have?
None.
The way everything gets resolved at the end, if you're curious though, is that they beat the fucking shit out of her and then lead her to the geckos where she is forced to watch all of her children get mercilessly eaten. I don't even feel good about this. It's just cruel. I mean, they're just babies, man. They didn't do anything wrong. And then the praying mantis shows up and tears off the gecko's tails, and I would never sleep properly again after the night that I watched this.
I'm not a butterfly, you idiots. I'm a moth.
Then the other one that is surprisingly just as violent is A Car's Life, which I found for free on YouTube with a video titled A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure, but there is no difference, this is just straight up piracy. But it was uploaded like 6 years ago, so I think we're good. These two movies released 8 years apart, and you honestly can't even fucking tell. This one has the exact same vibe as An Ant's Life. Like, everything is so empty and barren, and just gives off this unsettling feeling. It's like a dream where nothing makes sense, but everything is really violent and scary for some reason.
I wish I could be...
Sparky, stop. This is not a musical.
No, it's a gulag.
A Car's Life is actually a tragic fable about how doing drugs and making bad decisions can ruin your entire life.
I feel like an idiot. Cars see me and swerve to get out of the way.
The entirety of the big adventure mentioned in the title is the main character Sparky being manipulated, robbed, and tortured. Again, not exaggerating, that is actually the plot.
Dad, Diesel killed Piston.
I knew it.
Get me my lawyer.
I'm pretty sure it's meant to have some kind of message about responsibility or something. Like, I guess we're meant to like Sparky and feel for him when he's getting regularly bullied and having the shit beaten out of him by his dad.
Child abuse.
But he's portrayed as like an actual 3-year-old, so it's really hard to feel bad for his god-awful decision-making throughout the film.
I hate limits. Especially speed limits.
Sparky, no!
It's sort of how like Lightning McQueen changes over the course of Cars, except that Lightning is a likable character and not an affront to my eyes. In case you're wondering about the lore of this universe, the only sentient things we see in the 40-minute runtime are cars and gas pumps, which has some horrible implications for the class system of the A Car's Life universe. Really, the only important characters are Sparky and his dad, and 90% of his dialogue is just saying his son's name.
Sparky, Sparky, Sparky!
And this pink car Speedy, who might have the single worst voice in the history of anything ever, actually.
Why is the world so judgmental about free-thinking, quirky cars? Especially females.
This is not about you, Speedy.
Don't worry, I'll limit how many clips I show you of the pink car because I really don't want to give you permanent hearing damage. The villain of this movie is the ex-girlfriend of Sparky's dead cousin, who repeatedly coerces Sparky into doing dumb shit like going to the middle of nowhere to attach black market accessories to himself.
It really hurts. Oh!
A few moments of pain for a lifetime of gain, mon amigo.
And then he still doesn't learn his lesson and listens to her again when she suggests that they go to a place called the Badlands.
Go with Sparky to the Badlands. It's a great place to unwind. Bye, guys. Live dangerously or die trying.
The gas pump at least tries to stop them, but then Diesel sets her on fire. Then it turns out that she was luring them there so she could kidnap them and sell them for parts. I should feel bad here, but I don't.
Sparky, the world is a cruel, wretched place.
No, it's not. It's big and wonderful and full of possibilities. You just have to be careful.
I'm gonna ask the same question right now as I did when I was 8 years old. Why is this kid's car movie about the black market criminal underworld? At the end, we find out that the dad used to be a racer, so I guess the moral of the story is that sometimes you can have fun and break the rules, as long as you don't follow random jeeps who smoke cigarettes out into the middle of the desert. This movie is a fucking nightmare, and I cannot believe my parents ever let me walk out of Blockbuster with this fucking abomination. It's like double the length of the Bug one, but it feels about 7 times longer, because so much of it is dead air and uncomfortable silences that I can't even recommend watching it as a joke. It was all written, directed, and animated by the same person though, which explains maybe literally everything. And they made 3 sequels apparently. You mean there were more idiots like me who rented this thing? I did try and find out a bit more about how or why this was made. So I went to the Cars Life wiki, which exists apparently, and I'm beginning to think it might not be the most reliable source of factual information. Like, I'm not too sure about the director being Ballsuck McGee or the composer and producer being Pissy McShitass, with a budget of $2 and a box office of 26 cents. Okay, that last one might actually be true. And I don't think I can read that plot synopsis out loud with a good conscience. I almost feel a little relieved to finally get these off my chest, so I hope it was worth me reliving my childhood trauma for your enjoyment. It's been a really great reminder of why I stopped making these videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.